let's talk about something. Have you ever looked around and just wondered why some people seem to get rich so easily while other people, maybe even you, are just constantly struggling no matter how hard they work? Well, today, we're diving into Harv Eker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and we're going to unpack this really powerful idea. Your financial success isn't just about what you do, it's all about how you think.
So let's just get right into it, and I'm going to ask you a pretty direct question from the book. Why aren't you as rich as you'd like to be? I know, it's a tough question to sit with, but according to the author, Harv Eker, the answer, it's actually surprisingly simple.
And there it is. That's the simple answer. It's not about luck, it's not about the economy, it's not about your boss, it's about knowledge. What Eker says is that wealthy people all share a common way of thinking. And the big idea here, the really exciting part, is that if you can learn to think the way they do, you can start getting the same kind of results.
So where does all this thinking even come from? Eker uses this brilliant analogy. He says, imagine your financial life is like a computer printout. Now, you can try to change the printout, you can work harder, hustle more, but if the program underneath is messed up, you're just going to keep printing the same old results over and over. That invisible program, that's what he calls your financial blueprint.
So picture this. Your money blueprint is like a thermostat for your finances. It's preset to a certain level of success. It's wild, right? If you suddenly get a big windfall of cash, you'll probably, subconsciously, find a way to spend it or lose it, just to get back to what feels normal. And the same thing happens if you lose money. The whole point is, unless you consciously change the setting on that internal thermostat, you are always going to drift back to your default financial state.
Okay, so where did we even get this programming? How did it get wired into our brains in the first place? Well, Eker argues that for most of us, financial success isn't about learning something new. Get this, it's about unlearning all the limiting beliefs and bad habits we picked up when we were kids. Our blueprint got formed in three main ways. First up is verbal programming. You know, all the stuff you heard about money growing up. Things like, rich people are greedy, or we can't afford that. Second, there's modeling. This is what you saw your parents or role models do with money. Did they save it? Did they blow it? Did they fight about it all the time? And third, specific incidents. These are those big emotional events you experienced around money that really stuck with you.
You're going to love this story from the book. It illustrates this perfectly. So there's a woman, and she always cuts the ends off her ham before she cooks it. Someone asks her, why do you do that? And she says, I don't know, because my mom always did it. So they go ask her mom. She gives the exact same answer. Finally, they call grandma and ask her, and you know what she said? Because my pan was too small. And that just makes you wonder, right? How many of our financial habits are just us cutting the ends off the ham without ever stopping to ask if we have a bigger pan now?
Okay, so if our old programming is the problem, what's the solution, right? Well, it's all about installing new programming. Eker calls these wealth files, and there are 17 specific ways that rich people think and act differently than everybody else. It's about consciously choosing to adopt a whole new mindset.
All right, let's jump into a few of these wealth files. And this first one, it's a biggie. When you're faced with a challenge, a poor mindset immediately zeroes in on all the obstacles, all the reasons it won't work, and that just triggers fear and shuts you down. But a rich mindset? It scans for the opportunities, and that puts your brain into a creative, problem-solving mode. It's the exact same situation, just viewed through a completely different lens. Now this next one, this is so crucial. If you resent wealthy people, if you think they're greedy or evil, how can you ever become one? You can't. It sends a totally mixed message to your brain. On the other hand, if you can admire successful people, if you can learn from them and bless what they have, you put yourself in a positive state to create that same kind of success for yourself.
You know, think about it like a sports game. A team that's playing defense is just trying not to lose. They're playing a game of survival. But a team playing offense, they're focused on scoring, on winning. They're playing a game of abundance. It's the same with money. The poor and middle class are mostly just worried about security, about not losing what they have. Rich people are focused on creating massive wealth. Their goal isn't just to be comfortable, their goal is to be rich.
Okay, this next idea, honestly, it's a complete game changer. It's not about your problems, it's about your perspective. The book makes this incredible point that the problem itself is never the real issue. The real issue is the size of you.
So, the size of the problem is never the issue. What matters is the size of you. Imagine you have a level 2 problem.
If you're a level 1 person, that problem looks huge, right? It's like a wall you can't possibly climb. But if you grow yourself, if you work on yourself and become a level 10 person, that same level 2 problem is tiny. It's like a curb you just step right over. The goal isn't to have no problems. The goal is to grow yourself so big that nothing can stop you.
So, you've identified your old blueprint. You understand the new wealth files, but knowing is not enough. You have to act. And this right here is where most people get stuck. They wait for the fear to go away before they take a step. But you know what? Successful people feel the fear, and they do it anyway.
I absolutely love this metaphor. All the mindset work, all those new beliefs you're installing, that's your inner world. But to see real results in your bank account, you have to build a bridge to your outer world. And that bridge is built, plank by plank, with consistent action.
So how do you actually do it? Eker says you act like a warrior. And a warrior doesn't try to get rid of fear, they learn to tame the cobra of fear and act in spite of it. This means you have to consciously push your comfort zone. You got to make the call you're scared to make, start the project you've been putting off. True growth only ever happens when you're uncomfortable.
It all really comes down to a decision, a commitment to change. The book is filled with these declarations you're supposed to say out loud to literally reprogram your subconscious mind. We're going to end with one of the most powerful ones. See, this isn't just some fluffy, positive affirmation. It's a declaration of who you are choosing to be. It's a commitment to growing yourself. Because when you truly believe this, when you know deep down in your bones that you can handle anything that comes your way, what can possibly stop you from creating the financial life you want? The answer is absolutely nothing.